All right, so we're recording, and I have one of
Perfect.
my favorite freaking bands that's come out in the last few years. I have Staffan from the band Century from Stockholm, Sweden. Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, man. When I say like I don't use that lightly. You guys have put out, just a few releases between, well, two full lengths and some demos and some singles out there. Uh, and ever since I've been onto you guys, probably 2023, I think, as whenever I caught on to it, to Century.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been listening to it like fucking nonstop. I've ever since, even since the last show, it just made me
Right.
even bigger fan of you guys. And they're like, from what I understand, y'all played Houston a few years back, right? Y'all did play Hell's Heroes, from what I understand.
Yeah. That was 2023 actually. It was right before the album came out. Thank you, by the way. I guess I'm glad you like it all. But it was we did that show and a few around it, which was kind of a gamble because the album wasn't even released yet. But it was a huge honor for us to go there with just like just like five or six songs out there. So
That's
was
crazy.
it was a crazy one, but yeah, but it was really great. It was a great experience, and hope that we'll be able to come back at some point.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't know y'all played Hell's Heroes. Christian Larson, one of the basically the head organizer of Hell's Heroes in Houston,
Oh yeah,
we had chatted Thursday night. I was in Houston, and I said, "Man,
oh, yeah.
have you ever had Century uh, on the billing for Hell's Heroes?" He's like, "Yeah, they actually played in 2023." And I was like, "Well, that makes sense because I was not there.
Oh
Usually,
yeah,
I'm there, but that year I was in Oslo again. I was at Inferno,
oh,
so
oh yeah, of course.
so I, I missed y'all guys' performance over there, and so I was like, "Damn it!" Well, and I was like, "Well, we got to get them back. God damn it!"
Yeah, well, then it's ironic then that you got to see us in Oslo instead.
Yeah, no, and was it your first time playing in Oslo, or y'all played there before?
No, we've been there once before, I think, but it was also I think also in 2023, I guess. But
Yeah.
then yeah, we also played Hellbotten as well, which
Mhm.
is kind of Oslo, but other than that, we've only been at the west, like the west coast of Norway for
Right.
Heavy Nights Festival, which we
Mhm.
played twice. So we've been in Norway a bunch, but not really in Oslo, in the city, that much. So it's technically the second time.
Yeah, and I realized why I said that because I know Amethyst had announced that night that that was their first time ever playing in Oslo,
Oh yeah,
and they were actually the headliner of that night. Uh, man, but I mean, the bill was so stacked. I mean, Darkness Descends.
yeah,
They put out one hell of a freaking show, and I'm so glad I made that trip. Uh, it was amazing, man. Like the musicianship. I mean, especially Century. I mean, for Century, for you guys being, relatively. I mean, I I hate to say new, but I mean y'all newer,
sure, yeah.
on the scene, and but man, it's like you could to me, it's like the playing and the musicianship was just fucking second to none, in my opinion.
Thank you, thank you. It means a lot. Really glad to hear. And it was a really good. I mean, it was especially really cool to play with Flight because I'm a huge fan of them.
Yes.
And I talked to Jonas, who plays bass in Flight, and he also said that it was like pretty uncommon in Norway or at least in Oslo to have like a bill which is only heavy metal bands like that. Since that scene is also usually very focused on the more extreme and fast genres. So that was cool too to be able to do like a just pure like heavy metal show, I guess,
Yeah, and
with them as
I
well.
actually interviewed I'm gonna butcher his name because I'm not from Norway.
Sure.
The sound man, Savrea
Oh yeah, yeah.
he used to be in Audio Pain, and
Oh yeah.
because he was the one who actually told me that he was a part of Darkness Descends and the promotion and how they want to put together more lineups like that. And whereas just, build a community of just like just straight up like, new wave of British heavy metal,
Sure, yeah.
influence rock bands and metal bands.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty refreshing that they want to do that, because I mean, anyone who thinks about Norway and Oslo, I mean, your mind immediately goes to everything extreme, black metal and whatnot. I mean, at least that's where my head's at. Being
Oh yeah, from me as well. And I mean, there's a good reason for it. They're really great at it, so
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there always been, ground zero for that particular genre of music.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But
And I think the first time we played in Oslo was with Black Viper, which is also, I mean, obviously like faster than we are, but it's still like has a heavy metal, like it's basically heavy metal, but with some more speed to it. So that was also really cool, and that's also a band that I also really like. So that was cool too.
That also includes one half of Death Hammer and Kato.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, those guys, man, like whatever they put their hands on, it's gonna be fast, it's gonna be ripping, and just again, the musicianship, what they bring to the table is just fucking amazing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm definitely would like to hear how you came up in this scene, and and we can go back as far as you want to take your story, really get to know you, and the audience gets to know you as well.
Sure. I don't know. Where should I begin?
I say just begin as because you're a relatively young fella. So let's go back to when you first was crawling around and listening to music in the home and whatnot, and what pretty much what sets you on the path to being a musician in your own right.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was like a relatively, I'm not gonna say late bloomer, I guess, but not in like heavy metal, especially. But I didn't listen to music that much at all when I was like a small child or anything. So I wasn't one of those that grew up like watching Kiss or whatever and wanting to play guitar like that. So I think it was maybe when I was 11 or 12 or something that a friend of mine just introduced me to Iron Maiden. So I guess it's a pretty common story, he brought those records to school, and at that point I wasn't into music at all, but I was really into drawing and artwork and stuff like that. So when he like showed me all the album covers with Eddie and everything, I was like, I don't even care what this sounds like, now I have to start listening to this because it's the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I started drawing Eddie everywhere and stuff like that. So it was definitely just thanks to Maiden. And then I started listening to them, and this was early 2000s. So I remember like renting CDs from the local library. Like my cousin went there and got me, I think she got me Dance of Death because it was the newest Maiden record at the time. Right. And she also got me Use Your Illusion 2 with Guns N' Roses. I remember I put on Use Your Illusion 2. I didn't know. I mean, I only knew there was a band and that it was supposed to be good. But for some reason, I remember I listened to Get in the Ring from that record. You familiar with that track?
I'm not familiar with the track because it's like at that point, Use Your Illusion came out. I was probably, I'm going to age myself here, I think I might have been around 12 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of
and at that point, I was kind of like musically, I was kind of like past Guns N' Roses, That was so. Sure. I mean, that was so when I was 8 years old.
yeah, of course. I mean, turns out like that. But for me, like since the only two bands I knew about basically was Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses, so that's why my cousin, she went and got those two from the library from me. And then I remember putting on that song Get in the Ring, and the thing is that one is like kind of like a fake live performance, and in the middle of it Axl Rose has this rant about like all the like music like magazines and all this and how they're printing lies about them or whatever. So he's like really like pissed off at them or whatever.
Yeah.
And since I was like 11 or 12 in Sweden, I barely knew English, so I just put on that track and I was like, why is he so mad? I have no idea what he's saying, Like the only words I could pick up were, suck my fucking dick, That's the only thing I understood from it. So I was like, what is going on with this record? And I was like, this is not for me. And then I switched over to Dance of Death with Maiden instead. And that was, that's how I ended up with them, I guess. But then I listened to Maiden and they were also soon after that they came to Stockholm, and like national TV, they like broadcast one of their shows in Stockholm. So I saw it on TV, and I was like, okay, I have to see this band live and whatever. And then it took a couple of years, but then when I was maybe 13 or 14 or something like that, then I actually got a guitar and started to learn the Maiden stuff, and eventually saw them from the first time in 2008 on the Somewhere Back in Time tour, which was my first like big concert at all. So that was really like life changing for me, you know, to be able to see that, and they did all the like the big like stage show and everything from the Live After Death tour and all that. So that was like really what, you know, I was already kind of on that path, but then I was like, okay, yeah, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I have to get deeper into this. And then at that point, I'd already, you know, started listening to other music, and yeah, started playing guitar, and pretty soon after I started, you know, listening to all kinds of different genres of metal, and you know, it goes so fast, you know, because at that point, you know, I already had like a LimeWire or whatever, you know, so I already had access to like so much music. So then, like, it was just like every week at that point, you know, I felt like I discovered something new, and I was like, okay, this is black metal apparently, you know, and okay, what's this? And I just started diving into all that stuff. But then it took a while before I actually started to like playing in bands or anything. It wasn't until maybe I was 17 or 18 or something, and at that point most of my friends were more into hardcore punk and that whole scene. So for a long time I was kind of the odd one out in that group, you know. I was like the one heavy metal guy amongst all the punk people. So I played in a few bands like that, and I also played some death and black metals and various stuff in that vein. And then I got to know Leo, which is like the other half of Century. When we're in the studio, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
And I started playing with another band with him before that, which also had Edde, which is our live bassist for Century. I had him on vocals, so I got to know all of them around that time. And then Leo and I just kind of hit it off immediately. And when kind of the pandemic hit, we had already been playing for a few years together then. You know, I was unemployed and all that, and
like everyone else.
me and my friend, yeah, and a friend of mine had just moved his like studio with all the studio equipment to. He got on this contract on a, like, what do you call it, like a bomb shelter, like underneath an apartment house.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent all that basically the summer of 2020 with him building the studio there and setting everything up, and putting all his equipment there, and, you know, doing all the soundproofing and everything, spending basically the whole summer down there working on that. And when I was finished, I was like, okay, now I want to record some music here, now that we got it all set up. And at that point, I remember I had written like 2 of these heavy metal tracks, and then it came very naturally for me then to ask Leo to record them with me, because he's like one of the best, not only one of the best drummers I know, but he's also one of the best like guitarists when it comes to metal that I know.
Yeah.
So when I asked him, it just turns out he had lots of riffs and ideas lying around as well. So we started piecing that together and recorded the Century demo just a few months after. So that was, I guess, that hits most of the major points, you know. Up
yeah. What was that? Was that the Neon Warriors demo?
Yeah. That was Neon Warrior was the first song I wrote actually for Century. That one, and Streets in the Dark, which is also from that demo. And I remember specifically with Neon Warrior because I'd written like the verses and the chorus and everything, but I didn't know what to do for like the solo section. So that was one of those moments where we just I showed Leo, I was like, yeah, I have this is my idea, but I don't know where to go with it. And then he was like, oh, well, how about this? And then he played exactly those riffs that ended up on the recording just on the first try. And I was like, yeah, perfect. This is gonna be easy, you know.
Yeah. Whenever I first heard, it was Sinister Store. That was the first track, and I mean, if I had one of those, if I had that record, it would be worn the fuck out by now. Like it would probably would be unlistenable and just riddled with, you know, with pops and scratches, because I listen, dude. I have your albums, like all your material saved on Spotify, on wherever I get my music from, and it's just on loop. And one thing
that's good to hear.
One thing I've noticed is that you guys are like the I mean, in my opinion, just every intro to every song is just it just it 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 lures you in. Like you're not going nowhere. I mean, if anyone is a fan of like, you know, old school Maiden and things like that, or like just old heavy metal, I mean, you're hooked like a goddamn fish on a line. I mean, just from the intro standpoint, and then like the riffs kick in, and then like the like your vocal like choruses, the vocal harmonies and everything. It's like, dude, like y'all realize what you need to do when you need to do it. It's fucking amazing.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to hear. I mean, it's like I said, because I never been singing in a band like this before, like or basically I'd never been a singer at all. I'd been like doing some like just like black metal scream kind of vocals before that, but this was the first time I really started to kind of trying to write melodies or something like that at all for my voice. So I wasn't really sure how it's going to turn out in the beginning. And I remember even when we recorded the first demo, I was like, right up until like I published it online, I was like, should we just like get another vocalist, someone who actually knows what they're doing? I was just like, oh well, fuck it, here goes. And then
Well, I'm
and then it
glad
kind of
you
went off
did.
from there. But
Yeah, I'm glad you said fuck it. Here it goes. I mean, because it's like you have the right voice for what y'all doing. I mean, as far as, you know, just being, you know, a vocalist up there on stage, I was so fucking amazed, man. Like, I mean,
thank you.
this interview, this podcast episode is just probably gonna be me fucking blowing smoke completely up your ass the entire time.
I'll
No,
do my
but
best to steer it and not.
no, but in all serious, man, I'm just I was an instant fan, still a fan of yours. I'm really like as someone that grew up on heavy metal, you know, I remember watching old Iron Maiden videos on MTV whenever it was around um back in like, I don't know, 84 as far as I can remember, like, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like y'all do have that sense. I mean, even from a production standpoint where y'all keep it, you know, raw and kind of like just not polished at all. I love that. Like the mix is very much a throwback to that particular sound period.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. It's I didn't mix this latest record, but all the previous ones I mixed myself, and I'm hoping to be able to mix the third album as well. But I really appreciate that because I think it's something that, like at least for me, when I'm listening to it, I always prefer the recordings that are a bit more like rough around the edges and not like set to like a metronome track and all that stuff. So it's been kind of natural for us to work that way, and I think it fits the music as well. You know, I think I really like when you hear that it's kind of that feels urgent. You know, that
Yeah.
it's like doesn't matter if it feels like it's if it's like a slow song or a complicated one or like a short like Motörhead kind of track. It doesn't matter, but as long as it has kind of that energy that that we try to have live, you know, then I'm happy. And I know Leo is the same way as well. So um, a huge part I think is also his drumming because it really is. It's like always like driving the tracks along in a way that makes sense for me to play with. So it's been really nice to try to capture that in a studio environment. But we're also learning more and more each time because some of the tracks I can. Like both me and Leo are listening back and like, why did we play it this way? You know, it's way too fast, or this like transition is really weird, or whatever. But you know, it's just it's what it is, and I'm glad if it can convey that kind of sense of, I guess, urgency or what you're describing to draw you in and kind of keep things interested, because that's usually what I look for too in heavy metal at least. So
Yeah.
so I'm good to hear it.
It just seems like everything is like it's like y'all map it out just well. Like, you know, with each note, each riff, like each phrase of every song, it's like you know carefully mapped out to where um it's just so freaking catchy and like just triumphant in nature. You know, like
Thank you. Yeah.
whether it's like the lyrics, you know, the lyrical content, or it just everything just feels I mean, at least whenever I was there watching you guys, everything just felt fucking epic. From the, from whenever y'all entered the stage, man, it's like y'all had the, it felt like a country's like battle, like someone was going into war.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and it was like a battle hymn or something like that, and then y'all just blew like just got into it and just fucking laid the crowd to waste. I mean, to me, it just felt like, Century, like y'all guys stole that show. I mean, you really did.
Well, thank you. I mean, thank you. It was. I mean, I really liked it, and it felt like a good show too. And for this one, it's like for this show and the previous one also, we had Henrik Palm, which is a good friend of mine, who's been filling in on playing guitar, which also has been really great. So I felt like this show really also, it felt really good, both like with like just the energy of the crowd and everything, and so,
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
felt like a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely stole it. Yeah, you stole the word right from my mouth, man. It was like the energy was just insane. I mean, I don't remember too many. I could count on my hand like how many shows I've like I just completely lost my shit, and that was definitely one of them. I mean, very
That
very rarely
makes me
do
happy
I,
to hear.
yeah, like very rarely do I, like actually like just like fucking headbang and like whip the hair like back and forth because I'm fucking old. I'm 45, but it was definitely there, man.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I'm really curious about, you mentioned Maiden and you mentioned some experiment with Guns N' Roses, but what's some other bands that really like got you to where, I want to play, I want to pick up guitar, and I want to start
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. I think at that point it was like most of like the usual suspects. So like I really loved the Ozzy's solo records from the 80s with Randy Rhoads, stuff like that made me want to
Yeah.
play. But also another really big one was the Dio records with Black Sabbath,
Oh yeah.
especially Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. Those were like very early on, and I didn't know at that point that they were like both recorded with Martin Birch, who also produced the Maiden records. So I couldn't pick up on that, but I knew there was something about like those that I really resonated with. So, or I guess the other way around actually, that Maiden recorded with Martin Birch probably because they had listened to the Dio Sabbath records and Rainbow and all these things. So that was another huge one for me. And then I mean Motorhead, of course. Got into that pretty early on, and I'm trying to think about what more it was around that time. Definitely also Riot,
Yeah.
the American band from New York or wherever they're from.
Yep.
Because I was I got to see them around that time as well with the Thundersteel lineup, which I had just started playing at that point again. So that was also a big one for me because I really was a huge fan of that record, and also Rock City and Narita, those records before that. So that was another big one. And well, what else? There's so much, and like I said, at that point I was also into like Dark Throne and Immortal and all that, like the Norwegian stuff, and eventually like the Bathory and all that. But I kind of got into that through the like the Viking albums with Bathory first, and then I started understanding more of the black metal vibes as well. So it was just so much going on at the same time there, So it's hard to pinpoint some of them
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've got so many favorites. Sabotage also, like Hold the Mountain King record, was one of those that I got around that time, and I was really obsessed with that record because of how like it sounded like it was recorded in like a huge cavern or something, with a huge reverb and all these Chris Olivas solos that are just like echoing all around in the whole like in the whole production of the songs and all that. So that's definitely one that I can still like think back to when I'm mixing and everything. So I think like that huge reverb laden kind of sound that we've been going for definitely comes a lot from that
Yeah.
Sabotage record. So
Really love how y'all do that. Like how you put like tons of reverb on your voice to make it like
yeah,
I guess that's where that I mentioned like it's just epic sounding, and I think that's you just nailed it. Where it comes from. Just put in
yeah,
some reverb and to make it sound like you just like singing in like this big ass fucking cavern, and where it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just just like really some songs like ominous, some songs like you're just like I don't know, trying to slay a dragon or some shit. It's
Oh yeah, sure.
fucking amazing, man. But
I
I
love
like
it.
I like how you mentioned how, there was some black metal and Bathory and whatnot. I'd always imagine that, like, that was like a pretty much like a rite of passage for any metal fan, and especially, guys that grew up, in your neck of the woods in Stockholm. It's like I would imagine like someone said, "Hey man, like here's Bathory. It's corn top,
Yeah, I
throw
mean,
beer."
this is definitely like that, and I mean, it's the same thing, I guess, with Yngwie Malmsteen also, and all these like other like Europe and all these Swedish bands also, that you just came in
Yeah.
contact with kind of naturally, and Bathory obviously sticks out among all those. Candlemass also, I forgot to
Oh
mention.
yeah.
Well, I also started listening to around that same time, but yeah, with Bathory specifically, I think it was I had the Hammerheart and 12 of the Gods first, and then kind of went backwards through Bloodfire Death and loved that one, and then discovered Under the Sun of the Black Mark after that one. So went kind of backwards there with those 80s records, but no, but I just love it. It's such a unique sounding band. There's really nothing like them, like in Sweden or otherwise, So. And they also felt kind of different to me even at that point from the like Norwegian black metal sound as well,
Mhm.
because yeah, like I said, I got into them there with like Dark Throne and Immortal and Emperor as well pretty early on, and that's like that has that the very Norwegian kind of sound to it that I also really like. But Bathory was something else, and it somehow felt a little bit more Swedish, but I couldn't really put my finger on why.
Yeah.
I still can't really put my finger on a lot of the Bathory stuff. It's still like a mystery to me. I have no idea how he made the albums. I just such an anomaly
Yeah, he was. I
as a
mean,
band.
he was just a man possessed, man. Like he knew that
Yeah, yeah,
he wanted to capture a certain element of sound, and he just went for it in whatever way he knew possible. And what came out of that, what came out of that man was just is nothing less than fucking remarkable and marvelous
yeah, yeah,
to those who appreciate what he was about and what Bathory's about. And
yeah.
I'm really refreshed to hear that someone, namely from Sweden, where he's from, like me, I, went backwards, and nailed down. I mean, The Return remains my favorite Bathory album. I
Yeah,
just
it's
love
just
so raw, so primitive, and just fucking it hits it for me.
yeah. I mean, it's right up there on the shelf. I'm not gonna try to move my computer because I'm gonna put everything on the floor, but it's right up there. I mean, it's definitely a completely insane album, like from start to finish. It's yeah,
Staffan, you talked
one,
about
one of a kind.
you talked about earlier that you even you played in some like death metal, black metal outfits before Century. What was those? Did you have any recordings? Did you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, we had a few kind of demo recordings, stuff like that, but we'd never really released anything with them. I'm still thinking about maybe picking it up because I know there's especially one of those demos that all of us were really happy with. But then for some reason I kind of was unhappy with it and never finished it, and I was busy with other bands and stuff like that. But I think just like for this, like. To get some closure on that, I should probably release it sometime. It's recorded in maybe I don't know. It's over 10 years ago at this point, but it was pretty cool. There was some pretty cool songs in there that I think hopefully will see the light of day someday. But no, that we never released any albums or anything like that. So it's
Yeah.
very just underground, recording at home and trying to make the craziest things ever. But then I was also very like critical of it. Also, I didn't want to release anything if I wasn't really happy with it. So. But I talked to one of the guys I played with from that just like a while back, and he also said like, dude, we should release the demo. And it's like 10 years too late, but I mean, I guess it's never too late if it's hopefully
Never
it's
too
still
late.
good. So
Right.
I'll have to look that up, find those recordings somewhere, and maybe we'll put it out.
You mentioned a keyword, man. I'm really curious, just like how hard are you guys on yourselves? When there's something that just doesn't fit, or there's a riff that you're not satisfied with. Like, I mean, how long do you stay, uh, you know, focused on a particular song that's just not quite, up to your standard?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really depends, like from track to track, obviously. But in general, I would say it's really good for me to have Leo there, and also to have like people releasing it, and like having a whole, I should say, like to have like some other people like kind of pushing me to do it, because I know for other projects that I've like tried to start, there's been so many times where I started recording music and I've like written, I've made artwork and everything, and then I've just been like, I'll move on to something else now, and then I just never released it. So in that sense, it's really good to have these other people who are kind of always pushing me to do something to get to the like next step of it all. And also to like obviously ask them as well, like, do you guys think this is good? Like, does this work or not? And try to kind of balance it out, especially with Leo. But as for songs, I mean, what like the best part almost with me and Leo is that we both write like a lot of music all the time. So there are certain song ideas that we started working on, but then didn't really feel like they were like well constructed enough to be on the album, and then we kind of just put them aside and waited, and maybe taken riffs from those to future songs or stuff like that. But we have like one of the tracks that we're working on now for the third album was written way before the first album as well. We just didn't like find a way to kind of figure that out until like just recently. So we're gonna pick that one up from like 5 years ago or whatever.
Wow.
And there's also one track we recorded for the last album, Sign of the Storm, which was supposed to be, or at least we thought was supposed to be one of the singles, because we were really happy with it. But we both, like when we listened back to it, we felt like we played it like way too fast and too sloppy. We hadn't like really rehearsed it to the point where we were happy with it. So we just scrapped that song completely, even though it was one of our favorites. So we're saving that one for the third album instead now. So hopefully it's gonna fit in there instead. So, I mean, sometimes we're like, if we know that this is one of the songs we really want to be on a specific release, then we'll obviously spend more time on it and work on it to get it done. But if it's one of those that we just feel like, we just can't figure out really what to do with it at this point, then we always have lots of other ideas to go with instead. So we just pick something that's easier to work with at the moment, and we save the remaining ones for later. So and that's like kind of a luxury problem, I guess, to have too much music to choose from for the records. But
absolutely,
but it's really a freedom too, that you can just feel like, this doesn't work right now, we'll pick it up later and find some other place for it, hopefully. So
and as far as the lyrics are concerned, I mean, is that a combined effort for you two?
I've written most of them. It's Leo usually comes with me with because like I said, he writes like half of the riffs and everything on guitar as well. So we really split the songwriting. I think on most albums it's like we kind of write them together and finish each other's songs and stuff like that. But I think from the ones that we can like pinpoint, like this is one that I wrote and this is one that he wrote, it's almost 50-50 on all the releases as how much of the songs we've written. But I think for the lyrics, he usually comes with me with like maybe a finished song even on guitar or parts of it, but then he usually has a title that he wants for the song, and then I try to write something relating to that title, and then I show him like, is this kind of what you were thinking? And he's like, yeah, sure, we can change this around and do this, and so I usually write most of the lyrics, but with some guidance from him if he has like an idea. And for this latest album, I know he wrote some of the lyrics, like for Fallen Hero and Necromancer. I know he had a bunch of lyrics already, like vocal lines mapped out for me, which was nice for me.
Yeah.
So I'd say lyrics are mostly my department, but I like to get his input whenever I can, because it's still like it's I like writing lyrics, but I think it's also, it can be difficult when I like if I don't like get the idea right away what I want it to be about, then it can take a while to like find really what I want the song to be, and it really helped then when Leo also helps out and puts the input on it. But like I said, most of the time he has like vague vocal melodies that I try to interpret, and I ask him, it's like, is this kind of what you were thinking for the vocals? And he's like, yeah, sure, and we should sing this line here instead, or we should So he takes kind of a producer role for the vocals, but I write most of them. So
Yeah, and I'm just curious, like, what type of topics, inspire you as a songwriter, for these releases?
sure, it's I mean it's also varies a lot from song to song, obviously, but especially on the first album and even on the demo, it's because I'm a huge movie nerd, so I often write a lot of lyrics when I'm watching movies. Like sometimes it can be just a line someone says or something cool that's happening, and I just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So like the most obvious example, I guess, is the Fighting Eagle from the first album, which is it's like this is just straight up based on the movie Ator, the Fighting Eagle, which is like this kind of Conan the Barbarian ripoff from
Yeah, yeah.
Italy from the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love stuff like that. So
Me
this
too.
is oftentimes, yeah, oftentimes I can just you know go from there and take stuff from there. Like the song Neon Warrior is about this kind of sci-fi slasher called Time Walker from '82, which
Yeah.
I just happened to watch around the same time when I wrote it, and took some inspiration from there. But then there are also other songs that are more like more based on real life or whatever, more like a feeling I would have about something that if I manage to kind of translate that into lyrics, then I always like doing that. But then it usually has to come a bit more like spontaneously and naturally for me, because I find it's yeah, it's those songs are kind of harder to kind of pull off, because I feel like they have to be more. I mean, it has to kind of sound genuine, like you really mean it if you're actually going to do that, sing about real life or whatever. You
Right.
can always get away with cool stuff from horror movies, because it
Oh,
already sounds
absolutely,
cool,
man.
but yeah, try to mix it up for that as well.
Yeah, because I mean,
And yeah,
go ahead. I was about to interrupt you. Sorry.
no, actually, I was just going to say that it's varies a lot from song to song, and I think Streets in the Dark on the first one was just based on a dream I had where I walked along like one of the streets here in Stockholm, and I saw a lot of like different people, both real and not real and everything, and then kind of woke up with this really weird feeling from that dream. So that's kind of what I based that on. So it's just like, yeah, whenever inspiration or wherever it comes from, I just try to take notes and hopefully be able to translate it into something that sounds good to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I was under. I guess I might have dreamed up. Because when I hear your albums, it just everything feels like it's like a concept album, I suppose. I don't know if that is the case. So I was just really curious, like what type of topics, what kind of content that 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 you draw inspiration from. And I'm glad some people kind of like play that really close to the vest, don't want to give away all the secrets and whatnot. So I'm glad you were able to answer that for me.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, sometimes I wrote or like write a whole like song worth of lyrics, and like it's not until I actually like sing it and listen back to it that I kind of understand what it means.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like I write things that I kind of think make sense, but I'm not really sure what I'm referring to myself. And then it's not until I listen to it that I'm like, oh yeah, this actually fits very well to this thing that I was thinking about or whatever. So it's kind of a weird, self-therapy session, to kind of figure out when I actually read, like, I don't even remember why I wrote this, but it actually maps on perfectly to this thing that I was feeling or thinking about or whatever.
Yeah, and
And I also like that because I don't really have we've never had a like full concept for an album or something like that. But I've also felt that sometimes the songs that I kind of write about a movie or something, they musically and lyrically, sometimes I feel like they kind of convey like a feeling that makes sense for other like aspects as well.
right.
So sometimes some of those lyrics that are written that are, I just felt like were, like these cool fantasy lyrics, then they kind of start to get another meaning when I actually, walk around listening to that song and kind of try to figure out where it came from.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah.
just seems like whatever you're, the byproduct of whatever you're feeling whenever you write that song, it shows up in the crowd too. I mean, I know, like for a young band that played that Century, you guys played in front of this, an older crowd, what was it, mixed crowd, but I could see a lot of guys, like people my age, just pumping their fists and getting like just it was like a feeling of nostalgia, like just being, um, I've been to one Iron Maiden concert, and I was 39 at the time, and
Yeah.
it just felt like it was the same fucking energy that whatever it was, the lyrics, the music from Century, it's just that's what I felt, and that's what a whole lot of other people felt in the crowd, and you could see that. I mean, I haven't seen a crowd being that moved and that in that type of setting in quite some time, because like you go to shows and people are like watching one of the openers, and they're like kind of like don't
Oh yeah, for sure.
don't know how to react. But man, I mean, like the people in Oslo definitely felt what it was that y'all were putting out there, and I mean, I know I definitely was too.
That's it's the highest form of flattery for me. I'm really really glad you you felt that way. And I mean I was like when the crowd like sings along and all this stuff and like goes crazy, it makes it a lot easier for us too. So it's just like a mutual kind of exchange of energy at that point. So I'm really really happy when yeah when we can get that atmosphere
Yeah,
in a concert. It's the
and
best.
and me, you got me, the music nerd who's just like just
Mhm.
watching everyone, and like watching you guys, paying a lot of attention to you guys, and like watching the crowd's reaction and whatnot, and just like feeding off the energy that y'all are putting out. I mean, as musicians, I could see that it was just reciprocal. I mean, like y'all are feeding off of the crowd's feeding off of you feeding off the crowd. You the bass player and yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's just fucking like just going for it, man. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we always wanted like we want to give it 100% when we go up there. We kind of always want to keep, just as on the albums, we want to keep the energy like consistent or whatever. You never really want to let go. It's just like we've tried to do these kind of map out the songs so they kind of flow into each other in a good way as well. We have like maybe a shorter track and then we try to throw in some fast ones after that, and like just try to make sure that you don't want to get people bored, so you just
Yeah.
try to put like a, yeah, like a, I don't know how to say it, but just kind of keep that atmosphere as well as we can. And obviously like for us, we're so used also to, like, all of us in the band has been playing like different kinds of music as well, and like Eddie comes from a like death metal background predominantly, and Leo has played in like both like black death metal bands and heavy metal bands, and like more the punk thing as well. So we kind of want to get that energy as well, like across. We really want it to feel like urgent and you know hopefully captivating. So so that's really good to hear that it's like that it translates in the way that we're trying to do. Because like, yeah, I mean, a lot of bands I like, they can just like get up there and just like stand and play their songs, and it's like amazing. Um but we really want to make it feel like that it's kind of a wild in that sense. Like, and if that means that sometimes it feels like we're about to fall off the edge and go crazy at some point, I'd rather have it on that kind of weird
Yeah.
unhinged level rather than have it too calm
Yeah.
and figured out, at least in the live setting. So
Yeah, I know
um,
exactly what you're talking about, man. There's like a lot of musicians that I've seen at major festivals, and at Inferno included, that everyone loves the music because why would they be in the audience? But at the same time, it's like they're doing just what you said, just like you're playing the
yeah,
music, not a whole lot of emotion behind it, but and I think that, I mean, that's exactly why I love these smaller venue type settings with a band like you guys, what we had last weekend, where the crowd, for all intents and purposes, it was a relatively small crowd. I
yeah,
mean,
sure,
we're talking maybe what, a little 100 plus people that were there, but
probably something, yeah,
but everyone was going fucking bananas
yeah,
on everyone that played, and it's because every band, including yourself, it was just like, the energy was there. Everyone was like, you could tell that every band was enjoying what they were doing for the people they were doing it for.
yeah, for sure. And I mean that's that I can yeah, I mean, I'm really happy when you can, like I said, get that atmosphere from a live show. It's really the best. And I mean, when people are going crazy in the crowd, it makes me also want to like just
Yeah.
like yeah, go crazy as well. And I mean, I know I keep telling myself like maybe I shouldn't like headbang while I'm trying to play solos. I know I could pull this off a lot better if I just like focused, but then I go up there and it's just like it's just and you get kind of overwhelmed and you just go for it. So I'd rather have it that way if I had to choose. So
Speaking of your solos,
uh,
man, like every solo on every Century record is just fucking perfect. And I'm just
thank you.
as a musician, I mean, I don't know if I asked you the question or it was mentioned, but did you take lessons or did you just completely self-taught? Because if you say you're self-taught, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah, no, well, I took a few lessons in the beginning, when I was just starting out, and it was really good. Mostly because like those like few guitar teachers I had in the beginning, they were also really into metal and everything, so they could show me when I was like, I've been trying to understand this riff, what is it, and they've been trying to, yeah, well, you just do this, and kind of work on it that way. So it was really helpful in the beginning, but then I haven't really taken many lessons since that. But I've always like hung out with a lot of people who are like actual like well-trained musician as well. Like some of my best friends like really really know what they're doing. So I've been also trying to like ask them and kind of understand what I'm doing. So now I have I mean, a fairly solid understanding of music theory, I would say. So I know what keys I'm in. I know if I'm playing a add nine chord or if I'm switching between different time signatures or whatever. Like I know pretty much what I'm doing, but I can't like I can read music. I can't I wouldn't be able to really analyze things from that perspective. But I know pretty much what I'm doing
Yeah. Yeah, it
theoretically most of the time. Uh,
definitely shows.
but it's well, thank you. But then on the other hand, like Leo, he doesn't know any of that stuff, and he writes all the like craziest riffs and all these things that I could never come up with, and he's 100% self-taught. I mean, I don't think he knows like what the what the well, he knows like what's the name of the strings on the guitar, but it's like he work barely, he works on a completely different level. It's like, and he's like putting out all these insane riffs that I was like I would never be able to figure out on my own. And he's like 100% self-taught on drums as well. So it's I mean I don't know how he does it,
That
but it just works somehow.
what's interestingly enough is like the last person that I interviewed from Scandinavia that said they don't know what the fuck they're doing every time they see a guitar was fucking Ted from Dark Throne. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I was like, just utterly fucking mind blown that he mentioned that. I was like, dude, like, if you don't know what you're doing, then never fucking learn. Never learn what you have to
Yeah,
do
no, for
guitar
sure.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
fucking working, dude.
Yeah, I mean, through all those, like all the different Darkthrone albums, like with all the different kind of songs they've written too, it's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really crazy. Yeah,
And I mean, and and they've covered just about every fucking genre of extreme metal music.
yeah,
Punk,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
EP, black,
Yeah, yeah,
and to hear him say that, I was like, what?
yeah. Oh, but that's really cool. I mean, definitely look up to those guys, and also it's really, I mean, I haven't really thought about it too, but that they're also working as a duo,
Yeah, yeah,
like we are.
like you are. Yeah,
It's yeah. I mean, obviously, monumental band, and
yeah, man. Yeah.
really. I have to check out that interview. It's good that you reminded me. I saw it popped up on the channel, so I have to go and listen back to that.
Well, shit. Yeah. Whenever you said you watched the Salts and one, I was like, oh shit, man, fucking a. I'm
Oh
glad.
yeah, yeah. Someone just shared it, and I was like, I've never actually heard him talk about stuff at this length. So might as well
Yeah,
check it
it
out
was
then.
it was a wild one, man. I love that dude. Like I never met him in
Yeah,
person, but man, I'm looking forward to it because that dude he's definitely on another level than the rest of us as far as
yeah, yeah,
having a good time and just living life.
yeah, for sure.
But uh, do you guys like make it a habit to like going to Oslo and like hang out with guys from like the Cobalt scene and whatnot, or is it's just y'all?
Not really, actually. I mean, I've run into them. I mean, I've just met them in passing a few times. I've talked to Kato a bit from Death Hammer, especially when we play the Black Viper that show with them as well. But I don't really. Unfortunately, I haven't hung out that much in Norway, but you run into all these people on different European festivals anyway,
Right.
so I meet them often enough anyway. And yeah, I'd never been to Kolbotn before we played the Hellbotn festival. I think it was 2 years ago, but that was really nice. It was a really cool festival, and it was uh, yeah. I would love to come back there. Yeah, I would love to just go there just because I love the festival. So
Yeah,
hopefully we're gonna
I
make it
saw
back there somehow.
I saw that. I mean, speaking of those guys, I saw that the Hell Bolton organizers, they're having a concert in December. Like I think Death Hammer is going to be celebrating 20 years of a particular
Oh
album.
yeah.
They're going to showcase that at the Hell Bolton Festival. So I think that's going to be next August. So
Oh, cool.
hopefully I'll try to land
Yeah,
my.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be there. I wanted to. I had some vague plans on going for this one because both Obnoxious Youth played, which is also um, friends, and Ed, who plays bass in Century, also plays in Obnoxious Youth, and also Tyrann, which are also good friends of mine. So I was like, yeah, I should probably try to somehow sneak into one of these guys' vans and just
There you
hang
go.
out there for the weekend. But it didn't work out this time, but hopefully some other time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really cool one. I mean, I'd never been like you've always heard about like Kolbotn because it's it has like the
Home of
kind of
Darkthrone.
legendary status because those band. Yeah, yeah. But like you get there and it's like it's a normal place. You wouldn't think that this is like the home of all those great
Yeah.
albums and everything, but it was nice.
Yeah, it's one of those places where it's definitely on my bucket list. I think maybe I'm definitely going out to Oslo April 1st. So
Mhm.
that might be a little exclusive. I don't know. If
Okay.
anyone cares, I'm going to Oslo, but going back April 1st for like a couple of weeks, and
Mhm.
maybe I'm want to carve out some time to head out there and just see what it's all about. Because like you said, I mean, there was so much, so much legendary albums that came out from that place and bands even. So it's it would be a nice little trip to visit. And
Yeah,
but I'm really another thing that came to mind as far as Century is concerned is I like how, and I'm not, when I say this, I'm not knocking any band or anything like that, but I know that
sure.
a lot of younger bands like Century and even Amethyst and Flight, it's like there's a lot of bands in America as well that's doing it, like putting not more, but putting some emphasis on the look of the 80s and like
Mhm.
and dressing the part. And from what I've seen, I mean, you guys don't. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not as much as like just dressing, exactly from that time period. And is
Yeah.
did y'all make it a point of emphasis not to like to follow that trend?
Not really, honestly. I think most of us we kind of wear what we wear usually, like on day-to-day basis on stage as well.
Yeah,
But then again, I mean, we usually dress in like in denim and leather, so to speak. So
yeah,
just like natural to do
yeah.
that as well. I've had some plans sometimes. I've had like a bit more of like more like studded vests and a few studded pants I've put on and take on stage and everything, and
Of
it's
course.
cool to do that sometimes. But
Yeah.
then again, I mean, I mean, it's just we have never really talked about it. I think like how to
Yeah.
dress on station or whatnot. But I mean, it's I like when bands do it. Like Helvetes Port, for example, they have all these crazy outfits.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
man.
really like that's like on
I, I
another level.
I personally think it's cool. I think it's refreshing
Yeah.
when I see some guys younger than me and like just paying homage, and looking the part. I do like I'm not knocking it one fucking bit.
No, no, yeah, of
But
course.
I'm
No,
just
but I don't really remember what I wore now for the Oslo show. But I probably just had like Levi's and a bullet belt. It's like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
old school enough. It's
Absolutely, it does the job.
yeah.
So, what are y'all guys constantly writing? Is writing just constant for you guys in between releases?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I write kind of too much music or like enough music that I don't have time to record it. Even like for other projects, I keep starting new ones like in my head, and I record the demos. You make maybe an album cover, but I never really get around to actually making them. So I'm definitely writing all the time, and Leo is as well. And then this year we've been like kind of a little bit slower since we haven't played that much live either. Our previous live guitarist Isak had his got his daughter in like January, so he became a father, and that made it kind of, you know, a good excuse for us to slow down a little bit with both playing and recording. But we have gotten like the third album pretty much finished now. So in writing, we have like, I guess 8 songs that we're really happy with and we want to put down there, and then we have like a few minutes left that we're going to take, like pick and choose from these other ideas to try to figure out what we're going to do with them. So I'm actually heading to the studio tomorrow with Leo to kind of go through some more of those ideas and work out what's going to be on the third album. But I'm hoping. I mean, if it works out, then we should probably be able to record it this year at least. So it's definitely always kind of going on in the background.
Whenever you guys had recorded the initial demos, how difficult was it for you guys to, like, you know, find some distribution, you know, of these recordings?
I mean, it was just completely crazy how fast it blew up. I wasn't really, we weren't really ready for it, because we just made those songs, and I make like short runs of tape releases myself on like a small DIY tape label. So I was just like, let's do these, and I'll make 100 tapes and we'll just put it up and see what happens. And then it was just like, I think I just put them up there around Christmas and 2020, and like when I just woke up the other day, you know, they were all gone, and we already had offers from people writing to us wanting to release it. So I have no idea how it happened. It's just like really took off from nowhere, and I was like, oh shit, now I have like 100 packages to send. Like I wasn't expecting this like workload. I mean, but it was, for some reason, it just really took off faster than we were expecting. So it's been a real like luxury in that sense, that we've had a lot of people wanting to reach out and collaborate and also book us, of course. So we haven't had to work to get things out like that, which I was definitely expecting. But it was a nice surprise, obviously, and just kind of been going since then. Yeah,
because I mean, like I told you when we were messaging each other trying to get this podcast lined up, man.
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself for not, you know, grabbing a tape. I mean, I don't have a cassette tape player, but I just like, fuck, I should get the tape, and I didn't get it. But anyway, and you know, I immediately went to the band camp, and I was like, damn, everything was fucking sold out. I was like,
oh yeah.
So I was late to the party.
I mean, most of those, well, to be fair, like most of those tape releases for all the like demos and stuff like that, has been really short runs of them. Like I think the biggest one we did was like 250 or something for the Sacrifice tape, which we just brought on tour last year. So, but that's like the biggest one. Many of them are just in really, really like limited like editions like that. And it's not because I kind of feel bad because people won't get them, but it's just like I've been making most of them by hand, you know, and like I've been cutting out all the covers and everything, so it takes a lot of time. Sometimes the people like, just do like 500 of them. And I'm like, no, I don't have time to do that, you know. I have to do other things. I have work and like fucking, you know, write songs or whatever. It's like can't sit here folding covers all day. But but that's unfortunate. So a lot of them are already all sold out, and unfortunately people are asking like crazy prices for them on Discogs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna feel bad when I see like, wait, no, someone paid like 60 euros for this thing. Like it's like insane. So one part of me feels bad that those demos are so hard to come by now, but it's also flattering, obviously, that they've all disappeared so quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm just really thankful for the support for that, because like getting, obviously, like selling merch and albums and stuff like that is really what like keeps us going financially for these kind of things. So it's been a luxury, but
I was looking,
unfortunately,
while waiting for you to sign on, I was looking at TNO recordings and merchandise, and I was just looking at what's available and if they ship to the US. But I mean, even if they don't ship to the US, there's ways around that. So
but I think it does. It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, great.
But I'll let you know. Like it's like I just wrote to you the other day. Both of the albums are going to be repressed on on vinyl just like this week or the next one, and those are coming from the US as well, so you should be able to get them from there. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, man. Because this is one of those records where I think, as a fan of everything heavy metal, that I need to have in my collection, definitely. And it's just, I mean, the artwork on it. Do you like? Are you responsible for the artwork, or do y'all task out for
yep,
that?
yeah. I've done all the artwork for the releases so far, and most all t-shirts I think as well, except for one maybe. So
I love it. Is this like art has just really come natural for you? Did you go to school for it, or is just it's something that you've always done?
yeah, not at all. But I didn't like have no formal training or anything like that. But like I said, even like when I started, when I got onto Iron Maiden from seeing those album covers, even at that point I was always drawing and stuff like that. So I've been doing that longer actually than I've been playing music. If you want to compare it like that. So. And I mean, I really love doing that, but it's just become this way that I don't really like make a lot of art these days. But now that Censure took off, I kind of have a kind of an outlet for that as well. So it's been really nice to kind of to be able to put stuff out in that aspect as well. And we've been considering several times to like hire someone to like paint and stuff like that, and it would be in one way would be cool, but I think both Leo and I felt that it was like to keep that kind of consistent as well with the style of the records and everything.
Right.
So I'm most likely going to keep doing keep doing that as long as I feel like it works. So.
I think it definitely works. I love how everything, like you said, it remains consistent with every release.
Yeah.
The logo, I love like how you have these wing. Like I'm looking at Sign of the Storms album,
Oh yeah.
and just like the wings, how it attaches to the logo. The logo is fucking bitching, dude. I always like that.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's and you always incorporate my two favorite colors, it's fucking like red and black. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's
that's metal as
hard to go wrong.
right there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I mean, I have a few ideas for the next album cover, but I'm not sure how it's gonna work out yet. I usually draw each design like a few times before I get it right, and then I like do all the editing and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure how it's gonna end up. But I've started doing some sketches for the next one. So I'm gonna keep it in the tradition of doing it myself for the next one at least as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not broke, why fix it? That's the age old over here. So.
And I mean, it's so easy too, because then it's Leo and I, and I can draw something, I send it to him, like, what do you think about this? And he's like, can immediately be like, yeah, just change this and do this, and I can do this, like adjust it pretty easily. So it's also just logistically and practically a lot easier than hiring someone, that you have that's obviously doing their thing, and you have to kind of translate what you want from them and stuff like that, which sometimes works great, but it's the same thing with the mixing and with the songwriting, that when it's just him and me involved, it's really easy for us to kind of balance things out and adjust things so it fits what we think works best. We've just been as little outside influence as possible, like has worked.
Yeah, as far as your recording process, I mean, like whenever you're recording, you and Leo's doing the demos together. Like, what are you using? Like as far as I guess software, are you like just like DI?
Yeah, it's really like just a basic kind of traditional setup of what, if you want to say that, because we still record everything, both demos, and we rehearse and we do the albums in the studio that me and my friend built during the pandemic. So and he's like more into 60s kind of music. He loves like Beatles and Neil Young and like all that stuff from the 70s. So his setup is like kind of old fashioned in that sense. So he collects lots of these old mics and preamps and stuff like that. So we run everything through that. But the actual setup is very simple. It's just like we put a few mics on the toms and the snare, and we put one like mono ribbon mic that he built himself as the overhead mic, and then we pan the tom mics out to get kind of a stereo image. So that itself is kind of like a kind of outdated idea, but it really works for the sound we're aiming for. And the same thing with guitar. I have like it's not a Marshall JCM 800, but it kind of sounds like one. It's a Laney model from I guess 90s or something. I'm not sure. So I just mic that one up really like primitively. Just put that ribbon mic straight in front of it. I don't like I don't adjust it too much, and then I just run it through some old preamps and doing a bunch of overdubs basically. So that's pretty much it. And I think that might actually contribute to like because people, you know, we try to make it so that it's going to sound like the albums we like from the 80s, you know. And I imagine if, you know, like I don't know what bands, Mindless Sinner or Merciful Fate or something. I imagine like when they went into a studio like in the early 80s, that studio was probably not like cutting edge modern stuff. That was probably also from like the 70s and everything, you know. So they had also this kind of already kind of outdated like idea to that production too. So in that way, I think we might. It just fits really well to use stuff that's pre 80s when we're doing 80s music, I guess. But it's, I mean, as technically speaking, it's very simple. Just mics and amps set up. Nothing crazy about it. And then also the mixing is just like it goes through Logic, and we just a lot of the processing is digital and stuff like that. But we did do some things where we recorded things over to reel and even VHS tape I also used for the last one to just like for certain parts and stuff like that to get the kind of a little more like warbly analog sound. I've been just recording it over to there and then back to digital again and kind of mixing it in with it. So we try to do some things like that where you can fit it in. But like I said, the last album was also not mixed by me. It was mixed by Jamie Elton, which is a good friend of ours, who's also been doing live sound for us for a few tours and stuff like that. So he knew pretty much what we were after already. So it made sense to hand that over to him for that one, the last one at least. And that's why that one sounds like more professional than the other releases, because it's not me mixing it. But I'm hoping to mix the third one myself though, so that's the plan at least.
Yeah, it's like you're getting a bunch of like, you know, even adding more skill sets, watching these other guys, you know, record you and mix you and everything.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So like you learn a few things, you know, and shit, I could do this. Well, why not?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I know like fair bit about, you know, the recording and producing, and I've done a few like recorded from other bands, like just, you know, having them in the studio and recording for them, just being like as an engineer. So I know how to work my way around that like decently. So it's which is great since we're just a two-piece band as well, that we can, whenever we record demos and we're already in the studio, we just like we go in there, we lay down like one guitar track and a drum track, and then we just take turns, you know, adding bass and more guitar and put some scratch vocals, and we have a demo, you know. So that's been the way we've been working now. So just like through rehearsing, I'm also like learning and practicing the recording side of it as well usually. So
hell yeah, man.
It's a convenient setup. Yeah.
That convenience, and it's also, you know, one of those situations where it just makes you more of a dynamic musician and just more versatile in your skill set for you know, eventual further releases that you're putting out.
And I mean, and I also like that idea with, you know, I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to record in that studio forever, because like sometimes it's good also to like get out of your comfort zone and like try something else. But in general, I like when, you know, bands are associated with like a certain sound and a certain studio, like whether it's like we talked about Bathory earlier with the Heaven Shore studio, you know, like it has like this really like sound that you won't get anywhere else. And same thing with Heavy Load had their studio, they recorded everything in and eventually recorded Candlemass there and stuff like that. So I like that the studio aspect kind of matters also to the sound and the overall expression. Yeah.
You mentioned Heavy Load, and I there was a band like, cause like I'll let Spotify just like kind of continue on in the same, like I have like Century Radio basically set up, right? And so like it'll place like some similar artists, and Gotham City came on, and I didn't realize that Gotham City was actually from Sweden as well.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, shit. I mean, I was like, man, it's like, and some of it, it was like just, I mean, very, I don't know if y'all follow them at all or listen to them.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like,
Also a very extremely strange band in a positive way.
really, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like with those, like the earliest ones, like the demos and everything, with the old singer, is just like, I mean, you can't do that unless you're like, like pretty much a teenager who's just like obsessed with heavy metal. You can tell
Yeah,
that they're like just crazy about what they're doing, and
yeah.
sure they might be like playing over like their own like capacity sometimes, but it's just like gives it that really crazy feeling to all of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, man,
sure.
it's like Sweden and between Sweden, Norway, and even, and all of Scandinavia, really, it's just like, there's just stockpiles of fucking musicians that just are, just lifelong, students or masters in their own right. And, for me, it's like you could easily lump Century into that conversation, in that category, man. I mean, uh, I had no idea, like, just, how young you guys are. And I just know that, everything that y'all do and everything y'all put out, it's no shortage of just, masterful in your own right. And I mean,
Thank you.
like I said from the top of the episode, man, it's just gonna be me, just praising you guys, because I feel like this Century is one of those bands where more and more people need to pay attention to, if they don't already. So that's just my take on it.
Means a lot to hear that. I appreciate it.
And soften. I'm really curious, man. We reached that point where I need to know, what are 6 albums that you're taking with you. Someone exiles you out of Sweden, and you gotta take 6 albums with you. Which ones are you taking?
Oh, okay, shit. That's a difficult one. Is it just like any albums at all, or?
Any albums, any genre.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm like I'm the worst at like I get like this excited trying to make decisions like this, but I would probably have to do at least some Maiden record. Probably I don't know, Seventh Son maybe, and but it could have been any of the '80s albums really, and I would probably have to pick one. Uh, Maybe No Sleep Till Hammersmith live album with Motorhead. It's just like almost like a mixtape. Has lots of great songs from different albums, and they all
Yeah,
sound great. So
nothing wrong
that's
with that.
probably one of them. Um, Probably either Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules as well by Black Sabbath. Whichever one is like at the top of the pile currently when I'm getting exiled, I would just pick that one. And yeah, then I have a lot of like metal there. I guess for something like more extreme metal, it should maybe maybe Blood Fire Death, I guess, by Bathory if I had to pick one. I'm not
Nothing
sure if
wrong.
it's actually the best one, but that's the one that it has kind of some of those more epic kind of qualities to it as well. That you don't really get from the earlier ones, but it's kind of a good mix, I guess. So I'll have to pick that one for that reason. Uh, no, fuck, that's 4 of them, I think.
Yep.
What else? Then I have, well, then I have a lot of metal in the pile, so I guess I would have to put something else, something completely different.
It's whatever you want.
Yeah, maybe I would probably get like maybe some Tangerine Dream or something like that, just to break it off. Something instrumental and like atmospheric, so you can really break from that. I'm not sure which one I do though. Maybe either Stratosphere or Ricochet, maybe Logos, maybe from the '80s. Not sure. Any one of those. What again? First one I can grab would probably go for those. And what else? This is horrible. This is my nightmare to have to pick like this. Fuck, what would it be? I guess, yeah, because then I have some extreme metal and I have metal and I have some ambient music. I could have put like maybe like some 70s prog rock or something, maybe Camel or something like that, just because you get a lot of variety from it. But actually, fuck it. I'll go see what's in the top of my pile here and let's grab whatever I just listened to. Yeah. Okay, this wasn't really. Oh shit! Wasn't this? This was a 7-inch, but there's like a French, really obscure kind of heavy metal band, but with synthesizers.
Oh wow!
It was a kind of random pick, but it was the last one I listened to apparently, so it will have to do. I'll have to do that.
There you go. Hey man.
Yep, sure. Icar. I think it means Icarus in French. I think.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Which would have been a cooler band name, I guess, but they're French, I guess. So
you
I also got this song, Fil de Lucifer. I think it's like Sons of Lucifer, I think. Which is
wow.
Really,
I need to
really
check
evil sounding.
That sounds really evil and very interesting to me because this is the first I've ever seen it, first I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
So
I went on this like tangent or whatever, this like into the rabbit hole of watching like crazy like music videos like just the other day, and I started like just going through all like the crazy 80s videos and stuff like that, and I came across the video for that song from that 7-inch, and that's why I had to pull it out and listen to it. You can search on it on YouTube. It's a great video. You know, they're all like I mean I think they're like selling their soul to the devil or something, but then they stand there with the synthesizers and they're just rocking out. It's a really cool one.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm gonna put that.
It's also fun because that's not a record I would have ever thought about. It was just like happened to be there, but you know I don't mind. It's I can bring that one to whatever place I'm
hell yeah
excited to. Sure.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
yeah.
It's.
I mean, there's like thousands of. I mean, if I was really thinking about it, like if I would want to cover like all the stuff that I listen to, I would probably have to get like maybe some just acoustic stuff, maybe some Townes Van Sant or something like that, maybe a Neil Young record, something like that, also to just break it off. But and I didn't get any like punk albums really, and I also would have wanted to get maybe First Candlemass. I mean, there's too many of them that I would have really wanted to get, but. I'm happy with those, at least. Yeah,
I know.
Good enough.
Know personally that I would even have trouble like picking my favorite 6 albums that came out of your home country in Sweden. I mean,
oh yeah, yeah, but same here for me. So,
because
don't get me started on the like 6 records from the US. That's impossible.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty much a fucking sadist when it comes to shit like this. You know, making people.
That's good though. It's pressure. Pressure is good.
Yeah, you know? There you go. Makes you think. You know.
Yeah.
Stop it, man. Thank you so much for joining me on the episode, on the podcast, dude.
Thank you so much for having me.
Truly a fucking huge honor of mine to have you on and talk everything yourself and Century. Like I said, dude, this is like I am looking forward to what you guys put out as far as a new release in you know, in the near future. Hopefully I get to see you guys live again, because I mean, in people who follow this podcast, if you're listening, you're watching, you have a chance to see Century, do it. Like, no questions asked, just fucking do it. Check out everything. They're on Bandcamp, they're on Spotify. They have new releases coming out soon, so definitely check them out, man. Again, Staffan, thank you so much, man. And
thank you so much for having me. I'll see you, and if not in the US, then maybe in Oslo. So.
Absolutely, I'll let you know. I'll give you a heads up once I'm coming.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, bud.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it.